Okay, it's 10:01, guys. And today we have a jam-packed session. A lot of things. I'm not going to go too long, but at the same time, I do want to give you guys a lot of content, a lot of updates, a lot of great things that were happening this week. I'm going to share my screen, and I'll periodically check for questions in the chat as we move forward, and we'll be able to go from there. So let me share my desktop, and then we can keep it moving. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see my screen. If not, let me see if there's some way I can let you guys know, or you can let me know if you don't. But I'll assume that you see my screen now. I'm going to give an update today for 8/29. We'll just go over some of the statistics, macroeconomic conditions, microeconomic conditions with LPC, exchanges. We'll talk about arbitrage, and that's a term that's used in behavioral economics, but I'll give a description of it as it relates here to cryptocurrency in general, and also Lightpay coin, and also LGS in particular. And then we'll talk about the updates that we have for this upcoming week. Man, we have a lot of stuff going on, man. I'm just really excited about what's happening. Price action is beginning to look positive. So let me change over so you guys can see what's happening on, I'm going to try to share first CoinMarketCap, where we are with Lightpay coin. I'm switching up just a tad bit. I'm going to provide a link because I don't have all the statistics within the Excel spreadsheet like I usually do, but then I'll post a link in the Discord channel where you can see all of the historical webinar statistics within the Excel spreadsheet, so you can look at it week to week and see some of the things that we've talked about. So right now, the general market, we have a market cap of around 332 billion. Just think about 332 billion. Earlier last week, we were around 203, 204 billion. Something happened, and I'll give you guys some insights as to what happened this week to actually cause an increase. When you look at the general market, and Bitcoin in particular, we're almost at 7,100. We see that positive price action over the 7-day period where there's a lot of upward movement. We broke through the resistance around 65, 6,600 for Bitcoin. That's a good thing. Now you might be wondering what's causing that, and I'll talk about it in the next section when we go over the macro conditions. But let me go ahead and switch over to Lightpay coin in particular, so you can see what's going on here. Right now, LPC, we have a price of $5.21. It's down over yesterday, about 9% down relative to Bitcoin, about 9%, 9.32% as well. And in essence, it's an adjustment. Perhaps there are some people who are stakers who are going over to look at get a piece of the action into BTC, thinking it's going to go to say 10,000. There are a variety of resistance levels that it has to go through to even reach that point. So you're not going, and this is just my opinion, and the statistics will bear this out as well, that you're not going to see some 10, 20, or even 30% swing in Bitcoin relative to LPC, and if you're staking or you have a Masternode, and what you're able to gain over the same period of time. And this is not my argument to just not invest in Bitcoin. I think you should have a diverse portfolio, but it's the case. We're having some positive action here in terms of our price, 521. And you look at the market in general, we had a pullback in the price, and we're slowly beginning to increase again. There were a lot of people who were concerned, and I know this was last week when we were around $3 and some change. I was getting a lot of questions, a lot of FUD, some issues around, okay, was the team manipulating or dumping on the market? No, it was just a general pullback. At the same time, beginning to look at the markets, we have about 9.5 million in market cap of daily volume of around 867 million, circulating supply 1.8 million. out of max supply 21 million. Our rank is 358, so we are a top 400 project. That's a good thing in less than 90 days. I think it's phenomenal in terms of the effort that we've given so far, not only as a tech team, but also in being able to have the community contribute in a wide variety of different ways. The things that you all are doing, having those conversations, talking with your friends, family, telling them about the experiences that you're having with LPC. As you can see, our top market is CryptoBridge at about 43%. Before we listed on Cryptopia, it was around 80–90% of the volume that we got was coming from CryptoBridge. We added Cryptopia a week, or it seems like 2 weeks ago, whatever time we added it, and then it took around a third of the entire market cap. Now, not market cap, but the daily volume. And as you can see here, CryptoBridge, the price is $5.09 versus on Cryptopia, it's $5.28. And on CoinExchange, it's $5.34. Now, and I know we do have some day traders, we do have some swing traders in place, and we also have long-term holders who are locked up in masternodes. But it's the case if you're day trading and you're seeing this action here, and you're either buying or selling, not to encourage everybody to become a day trader and start swing trading this, but at the same time, you do see a difference in the price here, $5.34 versus $5.09. So if I were someone and either I was looking to buy, I would go here because this is where the price is the lowest. If it's the case, I got some rewards and I wanted to be able to liquidate, I'd go where the price is the highest. Here it's here you have LPC, LTC trading pair, but it's $5.66, but in relatively small volume. So you're likely not to be able to get that trade on the same day. You may have to wait a day or two. But for the most part, you see differences in the price action relative to the exchange that you're on. Now, that begins to lead me into a topic that we'll discuss earlier about getting other exchanges that we're already listed on. They're at the same time, they're already on CoinMarketCap in terms of a listed exchange, but we need at least $1,000 in daily volume to have them listed here. So this would be a great place where everyone in the community, if you wanted to know, okay, what's happening on the exchanges that we're trading, you could easily come to coinmarketcap.com, search for LightPay Coin, click on markets, and begin to look at the different prices that LPC is currently trading. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're just trying to buy low, go to an exchange where it's the lowest price. That's $5.09 here at CryptoBridge. And I think, once again, I'm not the biggest fan of CryptoBridge, but you have bots running left and right, bots pushing the price down. In this case, it's somewhat apparent what's happening here. Cryptopia, that's where you have decent price action at 528, but the highest is at CoinExchange, even though it's at almost $200,000 in daily volume. So that's in general, and I would like to encourage us, and I think each week I'm going to begin to focus on the exchange that we're listed on. At the same time, that exchange is on CoinMarketCap, or it may not even be on CoinMarketCap just yet, but we're pushing them to go to CoinMarketCap. And then we get sufficient amount of volume to put in the request at CoinMarketCap for them to list the exchange on our tab for markets. That's what's going to help new investors when they look at different currencies to invest. And that's what I would strongly encourage you guys begin to look at CoinMarketCap, look to see what's happening in terms of the price action. And if you're looking to buy low. If you're looking to sell high. So that's what I'm talking in general about LightPay Coin. I'm going to go to Masternode Online and actually go to LPC. And at this point, congratulations, we are in the top 4 or top 5 in terms of currencies at 523 listed here. Just a note, CoinMarketCap at 521 lists a little or updates slower than Masternode Online. So to get the most up-to-date price, look at LightPayCoin and Masternodes online to get the most recent price. CoinMarketCap doesn't update as fast because they have thousands of currencies there, only 417 here. But just to take a deep dive on LPC, $960,000 in volume with a market cap of 9.6 million, and that's good with 1,313 masternodes with a ROI of 719. Was 719%. Let's click into and look at what we're used to seeing. Daily income $1.02. Looking at the LPC price here, we're down roughly about 9%. And went over this earlier. 9.5 million in market cap, 863,000 in daily volume, 51 days to return on investment, 1,314 masternodes, almost 24 hours to receive a reward if you are a masternode holder, 22 hours and some change. In a few more days, it will be the case that it will be a full 24 hours before you're able to receive a reward. So if you're have a single masternode, but if you have multiple masternodes, you will get one reward each day on average. In terms of the coins locked up, since there was that pullback and we had a decrease in the price, and I emphasized it last week, we're at approximately 69% in terms of the masternode lockup rate, which is one of the highest lockup rates in all of the masternode space. We're a young project, one of the top projects in all of the masternode space, in my opinion, and the statistics actually support that position. So we went from 69% to a full 71.53%. Last week, we were at 69%, so a full 2.5 points increase in terms of the coins locked up for the long term. A masternode has a value now of $5,223.64, 0.7, almost 0.75 in terms of its BTC value. And just looking at the general price action, we had a dip here, and another dip here. It didn't fully reach where if you were to draw a line from here to here, where you would see that decrease, but it's still moving along that general trend that we talked about a long time ago. Actually, we talked about it on 7/21 when we had that 7/21 or Wednesday of that day, Wednesday of this particular week, because we drew a line from here through this line here and was saying this is what we generally would expect. That is the general positive trend that we've been experiencing since this project launched. And that's one of the things we wanted to emphasize. Trends are trends unless there's something to disrupt the trend, either at a micro level where we have an announcement of positive, or there's some bad news that's happening at a micro level, or at a macro level with cryptocurrencies in general. But it's the case, we see that nice positive trend, and this trend we see will continue unless there's something that will disrupt the trend. But we're still on that general positive upward movement since Genesis block and our listing on Masternode online. So if you were to look at the number of masternodes, still positive and increasing. Move this over here so you can see it here. Still positive and increasing. I think this was a particular day. I'm going from the 23rd to the 24th. We had 1,152, and we jumped almost a full 50 in one day. 50 masternodes added in one day. I think that's a record. I think our second largest jump was from 180 to 209, but this is definitely a record here, going from 1,152 to 1,200 masternodes in a single day. So obviously, if you go to the price action, it was low. We had a very low price during that time period, and a lot of people took advantage of it, and it increased our masternode lockup rate. So going back and just looking, if you were to click off masternodes here, and look at not only the price action relative to Bitcoin, relative to the US dollar, still that nice positive trend. But then once you look at BTC, you want to click off this, and we look at the price relative to Bitcoin, we're still tracking relatively nicely, compared to Bitcoin, we're seeing that dip similar to how we see the dips, similar to what we had with the dips with the US dollar. But at the same time, we still have that positive, nice positive trend relative to the dollar and also relative to Bitcoin. Now, when we do the BTC, we still see that nice positive trend. So the expectation is as Bitcoin rises, we will follow to a certain degree unless it's totally BTC dominance and it's on a run and all the altcoins are going to get left behind. But relatively speaking, we've been tracking similar to Bitcoin in the market because we've been staying relatively close to BTC in terms of our price action in BTC units. You see, this is the BTC units here. But to focus on BTC for a bit, because some of you may be wondering, okay, we're now having a evidence to suggest that there's a bull run occurring. When you begin to look at Bitcoin's price, some of you may be asking, and this is what I would encourage you guys to begin to do. When you wake up each morning, you want to look at price action every other day. Look at what's happening at a macro level first before immediately diving into the micro level, what's happening with LPC in particular. We see this price action of BTC crossing that critical, psychologically important 7,000 barrier. You say, what caused that? Is there just a bear run that's imminent? Was there an announcement around the ETF decision? No, there was no particular announcement from about the ETF approval of the ETF by the SEC. However, there was initial rejection of several proposals, and the commission decided to review those proposals, but that's what not necessarily kicked up the price and attributed. It was some positive news to let us know that the SEC was reviewing that proposal. But at the same time, most of you might have noticed an article about blah. Get ready, no thanks. There's a gradual increase in interest rates. When you think about, and this is once again looking at the macro level conditions that are impacting the price of or influencing the price of Bitcoin and some altcoins and the cryptocurrency space in general. This came out on the 28th. Get ready for gradual increase in interest rates. Now, when you look at Bitcoin and say, is there a statistical relationship between Bitcoin and the US dollar? And there's a lot of evidence suggesting, yes, it is. This digital asset or cryptocurrencies in general, when you look at our space, these digital assets within the cryptocurrency space, they are beginning to exhibit characteristics similar to that of commodities. When you think of gold, when you think about silver, copper, oil, it's the case when commodities move or the dollar moves in a particular direction, the commodities move in that direction as well. For instance, when talking about gold, as the dollar is, if the dollar is strong and the price of the dollar is stable and it's increasing upward, or its strength of it is high, it's the case commodities in general tend to go down. So there's a negative relationship between the strength of the dollar and the price of gold. So as the dollar strengthens, the price of gold goes down. In the cryptocurrency space, the same thing is happening. And when looking at get ready for the gradual increase in interest rates, it's going to weaken the strength of the dollar. As a result of the weakening of the dollar, you're going to see commodities such as gold, silver, and even cryptocurrencies begin to move up. Case in point, all of last year, the US dollar was taking a beating in the market. You can look up the statistics, and perhaps it is even the case I can point out some articles or begin to search around for articles and actually put them within the Masternode Excel spreadsheet so that you can begin to see. All of last year, the dollar was taking a beating, particularly in the last part of the year. But coincidentally, what happened when you look at Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency market, it was the the moonshot or the high exposure or increase in the amount of investors coming into the cryptocurrency space. Look at all of last year. Look at the movement of the dollar, the strength of the dollar, and then look at the movement of cryptocurrency. At the same time, in 2018, this year, the dollar was in a very, very positive upward movement. The economy was doing well. Interest rates were pretty much held in check. And the result, the dollar strengthened. Consequently, we went through one of the biggest bear markets within the cryptocurrency space in the history of the cryptocurrency industry. Now, take into account how the dollar is moving. Because the dollar is moving in a there's evidence suggesting that the dollar is going to turn as a result of the increase in the interest rates. It's going to take more to get a loan for a home. You're going to begin to see some things trend downward because of the increase in interest rates, particularly the strength of the US dollar and how it trades overseas relative to other currencies as well. Because of that, it was a clear sign that BTC broke through 7,000. Now, looking at other commodities, same thing. The price of gold went up as well. And you can look at it over the past 2 years. The correlation is almost perfectly negative. So as the dollar last year, as the dollar went down, cryptocurrencies went up. Gold went up. At the same time, now in 2019, as the dollar went down in terms of its strength, as the dollar went up in 2019, you also saw the dollar go down as a consequence. Cryptocurrencies go down, and we enter into this huge bear market. But as soon as this decision by the Federal Reserve to increase interest rates, you saw a turn in our market. The dollar began to lose some of its strength, began to go down. At the same time, cryptocurrencies are going up, gold's going up as well. So you're beginning to see this digital asset or cryptocurrencies in general begin to move up as a consequence of the dollar. So now we're beginning the dollar losing its value. Now you're beginning to see the macro level relationships and how it's beginning to impact our space. Look at it each morning. Think about the macro level conditions, move into the micro level conditions. And that's one of the things that we'll begin to talk about in this particular webinar today. We talk about the stats, we talk about some of the macro level conditions and how it's impacting Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. And then we'll also begin to talk about some of the exchanges. But I want to do a quick pause to see if there are any questions that you have around LightPay coin, the statistics, some of the macro level conditions and things that we've spoken about so far. I'm going to see if there's any question or Q&A. Looks chat. There's a lot of folks in the chat. Let me see. All right. So Crypto 101. Looking for questions. Just thinking. Yeah, I should get an ad blocker too. Not a bad idea. Sure, I showed up too late. You're missing me. Appreciate it. Crypto 101. That. Homework due every week. Yeah, I should give you guys. Yeah, I'm going to give you some homework today. I'm going to give you some homework. Just let me get through the rest of this the update for this week, and then we're going to push into the homework. Now, next topic: exchanges. We, as you might have known if you monitored the Discord channel, we listed on another exchange. Let me see if that exchange is actually here. Yes. In our effort to push into the Asian markets, we targeted some exchanges that are not necessarily well known, but could potentially give us a great exposure within Asian markets. And one exchange that came to mind was BitXBay. It's the case that it has more volume than Cryptopia, more volume than CoinEx, more volume than any of the exchanges where LPC is listed. At the same time, it also costs very, very little to list on this exchange. Here's the analogy. Last year, the beginning, say November of 2017, No one knew of Binance at all. No one had a clue about Binance and its capabilities or its potential dominance in the space. But then once the bull run happened, Binance came and became the #1 cryptocurrency exchange in all of the world, having being worth billions and billions of dollars. As a matter of fact, let's go look now to see where Binance is, because I think this will give us some insight what's happening or what could potentially happen here. I'm going to look for Binance and click on it, exchange. Binance right now, it has a daily volume of $1.3 billion when you look at its daily US volume that's happening. These are all of the markets that are happening on Binance. It's the case. A year ago, say going back to January of 2017, these folks were not on anyone's radar. I don't know the exact date that they launched, but they went from nothing to one of the top 2 to 3 exchanges in all of the cryptocurrency space. Following that logic, is there another cryptocurrency exchange? Is there another cryptocurrency exchange within the Asian market that has the potential to become another Binance? In this particular case, one of the targets that we found, and we actually were able to list for a very, very, very small fee. As you know, we spent well over $60,000 to be able to list on Cryptopia. This particular exchange here has more volume than Cryptopia. I'm looking at almost 300 BTC, and it only cost us $600. It only cost us $600 to list on this exchange. Now, to the degree that this exchange takes off, we're having efforts, pushing efforts within the Asian market. For instance, our LGS support project, the operations manager, he actually lives in Shanghai. He's a former IBMer, a former colleague of mine, and he will begin to take over operations of LGS in the coming weeks. And we're going to make a formal announcement about that as well, introducing him to our community. But it's the case within the Asian market, he will begin to push, if this is an exchange at which he's focused on within the Asian market, it's the case for $600 listing LGS and LPC. LGS and LPC, we would see if there's a rise. And once again, I'm looking for an arbitrage here. When paying relatively little for something that will show a very high return in the long run. We see the price action that we have here for Lotus Coin and also LightPay Coin. LightPay Coin is actually at 187,000 Satoshi on this particular exchange. And we haven't pushed this exchange at all. Actually, the price of LightPay Coin is higher than the price of Lotus Coin, which is weird when you begin to look at it, because this is actually in the Asian market. They're not tuning into the webinars. They don't necessarily have exposure to some of the American markets, but this is odd to see. But yet we could see enormous amounts of volume coming from the Asian market. This is why we listed on this particular exchange, and this is our one of many efforts within the Asian market that we're doing to get exposure into the area, in addition to bringing on an individual with experience in a Fortune 100 tech company in IBM. We were both colleagues at IBM, and he actually lives in Shanghai and will be responsible for some aspects of logistics related to Lotus Coin. So that's one exchange I like to begin to focus your attention on, BitX Bay. Not necessarily saying you have to trade here, even though I've done it myself. It's the case that once we list on exchange, we want them put on CoinMarketCap. We want them listed as one of our markets, so that when other investors search through CoinMarketCap and look at our particular project, they can see that price action and they can see that volume coming from the different exchanges. So that's an effort that I want to strongly emphasize to everyone on the call. The exchanges that we're currently listed on, BitX Bay, Stock Exchange, Escodex, South Exchange, those exchanges aren't listed on CoinMarketCap yet, because we need that $1,000 worth of volume. We need those exchanges to be on to be on CoinMarketCap so that we could get them listed as a market. That's what's going to increase the volume all the way around, increase our market cap, and actually help us to get more liquidity and price discovery by listing on these exchanges and actually displaying these exchanges on our page. With that said, there is another exchange that we have here. Let me go down, and I'm going to go CoinEx. I think it's CoinEx. Let's see, CoinEx. That's not CoinExchange.io. No, that's our exchange. CoinEx.io. Let me see. Do a quick search here. There we go. CoinEx.com. Excuse me. This is an exchange that we are targeting. Now, this is a top 20 exchange. It's a top 20 exchange, and it has several very unique features I would like to emphasize. One, it has the capability of you being able to download an app. If you're able to download this app on CoinEx, you will be able to have access to not only Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the top currencies, but all of the other currencies trading on this exchange. You can trade on this app. You can have a digital wallet or a mobile wallet on this app. At this point, what we're spending in terms of getting wallets developed for Android, getting wallets developed for iOS, for Logiscoin, for LPC. If we list on this exchange, if we list on CoinEx, we will accomplish several goals. One, we will be on a top 30 exchange. Two, we will have the iOS mobile app for LGS. Three, we'll have the Android app for LPC as well. And what does it take to list on CoinExchange? Your vote. Your vote. We're going to start a campaign where we can begin to increase the number of members who are participating in the campaign for Logiscoin and for LPC. But now we're going to focus on LPC. Let's get LPC listed on CoinEx. Let's search. You do a search. We got all of 3 votes. And right now, I'm going to log on again and vote. You can vote like 5 times within a week for different. I don't know if you can vote for the same coin over and over again. I've only voted once, but I've signed up on this exchange. I've downloaded this app, and it's a beautiful app. It has like I said, you could trade on the exchange on the mobile app. You could also have your mobile wallet and send and receive cryptocurrency, in particular LightPay coin. When LightPay coin is listed on this exchange, we automatically get the mobile app. We're already listed, and we already have an Android app, and we already have an iOS app ready for deployment. Now we're going to start a campaign whereby we're going to encourage members to sign up on CoinEx.com, go through KYC, submit your ID, because if we're listed on a top 30 exchange, guys, it doesn't make any sense for us not to go through KYC, because you're gonna have to go through it anyway. Once you go through, you sign up, go through KYC, buy 1,000 CET tokens. That you need that in order to vote. So what we're going to do is we're going to encourage people through random drawings each day. We will be giving away 1,000 CET. So go through KYC, let us know how you are, how you've gone through the process of signing up, gone through KYC, and then you indicate that you've downloaded the app and you've shown your wallet address for your CET token, and then a random drawing each day for 1,000 tokens will be sent to an individual. That person can take that 1,000 and vote for, actually you're going to need 1,001. So we're going to strongly encourage you guys. And 1,000 CET tokens, that's $30. That's less than 1 day's reward for LPC. So think about that for a moment. You're taking less than 1 day if you're a Masternode holder, or even if you're a staker for that matter. considering the success that we've had as an organization and the success that you all have had in terms of your ROI, what does it hurt to purchase the 1000 CE, which is roughly $30 right now, but it's taking a hit because of the Bitcoin, the rise in Bitcoin, which I think will be a great opportunity to get it. It's maybe less than 30 now, but taking that 1,000 tokens and then voting for LPC. We need at least 1,000 votes to be listed. Right now we see 88, Cardano, Stellar, IOTA, NIM, and Tezos. But right now, when you look at all of the currencies that are in the process, I'm going to hit enter, see if this restores. Does it restore? Yes, it restores. Right now, there's 1,389 projects listed. At the same time, you need at least 1,000 to be evaluated. So at this point, there are very few. When you talk about 1,338 and you have less than 20 that actually have 1,000, that gives us a great shot to be listed. So we have to go through criteria. We have to go through evaluation. They have to look at our white paper. They have to look at the team. They have to look at our project, what we're doing in the space in terms of our performance and how it would help them. I think we have a great shot when you look at all of these competitors here. Not to bash any other coin. The one right now, I really don't see, notwithstanding Zcoin in terms of where it is now, I don't see any competitors here. I don't see anyone outperforming us once we make that cut of 1,000. So the minimum we need is 1,000. We're going to start a campaign where first we would strongly encourage you, sign up on CoinEx.com. Once you sign up, download the app. This is where you're going to get your CET address to post for the daily drawing each day for 1,000 CET. Now, once you have that 1,000, or you decide that, okay, I'm just going to take the initiative, spend the $30 and get the CET myself, then it's the case. If you want to trade out of CET, you go into the platform and you win the 1,000 CET from the drawing, just trade it out into BTC or trade it out into another currency at that point, or just wait for LPC and then trade back into LPC. So step one, sign up on CoinEx.com, download the app, post and I'll put the location. I'm going to create a channel where you can post your CET address from your mobile app. I think it's important to understand. Get the app, get the mobile app, sign up, go through KYC, get the mobile app, post the CET. The mobile app is going to help facilitate us for building out our wallets. Once we have this downloaded and once we're listed, we don't have to continue to spend more and more on developing iOS wallets for LGS, LPC, and Android wallets for LPS and LGS and LPC. It will be at the point once we're on this exchange, you already have a wallet once you download this mobile app, and you can trade on the mobile app as well. This exchange is actually backed by Bitmain, which is one of the largest miners in all of the cryptocurrency space for Bitcoin. So actually, they make the miners themselves, the ASICs, the application-specific integrated circuit devices used to mine Bitcoin. So once again, sign up. Once you sign up on CoinEx Market, go through KYC. As you're going through KYC, it takes about 4 to 5 hours to go through KYC. Then download the app. Once you download the app, then take that CET address and post it within the Discord channel, or even send it to me. I can go ahead and post an email address where you can send those, but more than likely it's going to be a channel. And from that channel of addresses, we're going to do a random drawing each day for 1,000 CET tokens so that you would be able to vote. But once again, it's only $30 to get those CET tokens. But I understand some people, they have a schedule in place and they want to be able to maintain the rewards that they've gotten, and totally understand. But at the same time, to whom much is given, much is required. I often make contributions to get listed on exchange out of my own personal investments. But it's the case, this is one of the top exchanges, and it works for us in the long term to be on a high volume exchange. As a matter of fact, let's go to CoinMarketCap and take a look at it. I hate to kill time, but I think it's worthy of analysis. Going to coinmarketcap.com, and we're going to search for, let's do this, rankings, exchanges, 24-hour volume. Excuse me. Is this going to come up? Or is it still spinning? Okay. Looks like this. Rankings. I'm going to click this one more time. Exchanges. There we go. We have Binance, which is #1. Totally unknown last year. Now there's #1s in the space, kind of going on that hedging event or betting on these small exchanges being able to make it to #1. That's why we actually listed on BitXBay, because they could become the next Binance coming out of the Asian market. But who knows? #2 is OKX. And we're going to CoinEx. Where's CoinEx here? It's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or maybe I should look for it. Sorry, guys. I'm scrolling through this old school style. Don't want to miss it. X rates, another exchange that we're targeting. Where is it here? 38 million here, Yobit. Let me do a search. 64 million. COIN. If I can type EX. Get this going. It's not going to CoinEx. There it is. CoinEx is at $305 million in daily volume. $305 million. When you look at Cryptopia has approximately anywhere from $2 to $3 million. $2 to $3 million in daily volume. This is 100 times the volume of Cryptopia. Let's look up Cryptopia. See. 3.8 million. 3.8 million in daily volume coming from Cryptopia. With that, knowing that we're almost, there's an exchange where we're getting almost 100, well, a little under 100 times the volume, and all you have to do is vote for LPC, and you get the mobile wallet. You get the mobile wallet. You get the list on exchange with over 300 million in volume. Didn't necessarily see where its ranking was. Perhaps there was something within CoinMarketCap where it wasn't showing it, but it has $300 million in volume. I think it's a great opportunity. And right now, you look at LPC, the number of votes that we have 3. And guys, we love to have community support. That's why I'm spending so much time on it on this call. All you'd have to be able to do is vote. Get us to 1,000. We would need to get to 1,000. We're going to have daily drawings for CTE for at least the next 2 to 3 weeks, where we're giving away 1,000 CET tokens, and you'd be able to sign up, go through KYC, download the app, get the CET address or CET token address, and then you post it within the Discord channel, and then it's the case. You'll be able to vote. But for others who want to just take that initiative, hey, I got a reward. It's less than 1 day's reward. Let me go ahead and get the CET tokens and vote. Let's make it here. We just need to make it in the top 20. Once we have 1,000 votes, we are now in a position to actually get listed. Let's look at the voting rules. For ID verified users only, the project creator will be rewarded 1,000 CET tokens once it's successfully listed. Voting rules, you have to have 1,000 CET tokens. Each user can cast 1 vote for each project, and each vote costs 1 CET. Max 5 votes per account per week. So once voted, your CET is not refundable. So now that I'm reading this closely, you can vote 5 times in 1 week, but you can only vote for one project. So perhaps it makes sense for us to partner with LGS or partner with another high growing project where our teams vote for each other, or we bring in some individuals to help us get past the 1,000 votes. The standard is minimum support of 1,000 votes. Listing qualification: all qualified projects with enough votes must be evaluated and approved by the CoinEx before being listed. The submitter with the most detailed, authentic info will be informed of results via email and get the reward within 7 business days. Not receiving email notification within 30 business days, your project info unfortunately did not pass our evaluation. So I think this is worthy of getting into a position. We'll put enough, get us to 1,000 votes. The team will take care of the rest. We have a solid technology. We have a solid economic structure in terms of rewards, in terms of our use case. At the same time, we have a great community. So with that said, guys, let's make it to the top 20. Let's make it to the top 20. I see no competitors here. I really don't see any competitors here in our space in terms of what we're doing, our use case, our partnerships in this very small amount of time in 3 months, what we've done. So I want to take a quick pause and look to see where we are here. We talk about arbitrage, we talk about exchanges. Arbitrage is term coming from behavioral economics, taking advantages of the differences in human behavior. Buying on one exchange, you may have a high price, another exchange a low price. And we talked about that earlier, getting listed on exchanges so you all will be able to see where our LPC is actually being sold, and actually taking advantage of discrepancies in price based upon the exchange. That's in essence what arbitrage is. Once again, coming from behavioral economics, recognizing inefficiencies in the market and exploiting those for your advantage. So if there's an exchange that has a very low price as compared to another exchange, one exchange LPC is being sold for $4.50, for example, and on another exchange is being sold for $5.30. You would want, if you were selling, you'd want to sell at the 530 exchange and not the $4 the exchange with the $4 price. So that's just taking advantage of the inefficiencies in the market. I want you all to have all the information that you can on CoinEx, on CoinMarketCap, so you can be able to readily take advantage of that. So I'm going back to the chat. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to scroll through questions.
Damon, there's a question from Mike. Mike is asking, where do we post the CoinEx addresses in Discord?
Sure. And right now there's no. I have to quickly make a channel within our Discord. I have to make a quick channel like general. We'll make one for CoinEx vote, and you just post your CET address in that box. Download the app, get the address, post it in the channel, and then we'll make the daily drawing. And once we have to make the official announcement first to give instructions to people who are not on the webinar. But then it's going to come soon. Within the next day, within the next 24 hours, you'll see that information. Okay, where do we post in Discord? Mike, I have a question. Okay, that seemed like that was the only question. App is doing KYC now. Thanks for getting that question. Okay, now updates. I know we have 10 more minutes. I'm doing better, guys. You have to forgive me. My grandfather was a Southern Baptist minister. Because he was a Southern Baptist minister, he had the gift of the gab, and he talked a lot. And I think that's where I get it from. My dad was a talker too. But we're making it under 1 hour. We're at 10:50. We have 10 more minutes to go. And for instance, I'll try to keep it short. But like I said, I'm a talker. And you get out a lot of information, but sometimes people say, hey, fast talkers, you really don't, it's a lot of surface information, but this is a lot of depth information as well. Great example of that is Eminem. If you were to take all of the lyrics you look at Eminem's lyrics and the amount of time, the average time of a song compared to other rappers in the industry, 50 Cent or name artist. I'm not really into that space a lot these days, but it's the case. Compare the number of words and messages communicated by Eminem in terms of his rapping style, his rapping speed, compared to other artists. He's far ahead of everybody in terms of the efficiency of communication of information within a certain period of time. And I'm looking to follow that model. So let's go to updates. We're at 10:51 now. We have 9 minutes. As I mentioned last week, it was a surprise at the end of the week. After that talk, guys, I said, if we want to be the same, let's do what everybody else is doing. Let's lose our uniqueness and fall in line to do what every other coin is doing and not get any attention. But I said, we're different. We want to make noise. We want to be different. We want to be unique. We want to change the perception of cryptocurrencies in general and masternodes in particular, because it has a very, very bad name. Even though it's the case, cryptocurrencies, they were developed out of chaos. Looking at the financial crisis of 2008, cryptocurrencies were born out of that chaos. But yet it's emerging as a new technology that's going to revolutionize the world. And I am so sincere when I make that statement, because we're now getting attention and people are getting some exposure to us. A vice president from Fox Business Network reached out to the team, communicated with me, and he wanted to talk about putting us on a show within the network. I had a 2-hour conversation with the VP. His first name is Mike. I won't reveal his last name for obvious reasons at this point. But we had a 2-hour conversation. They'd like to feature us on one of the shows within the network, not only for a single segment, but for multiple segments. In the 2-hour conversation, he was very impressed in terms of our business case. He was very impressed in terms of the team. He was very impressed in what we've done in 3 months' time in one of the biggest bear markets in the history of cryptocurrencies. So given that we were able to, in less than 3 months, to make it to a $10 million market cap, given that we did not do an ICO, given that we have a partnership with one of the largest R&D universities in the United States of America, given that we already have corporate investors with masternodes that are actually using those masternodes for innovative business use cases as an institutional asset to fund various initiatives within their own business, given that we have thousands of masternodes. I can go on and on, guys. This is really all of your credit in terms of what you've done, what we've been able to do as a community. They reached out to us. They're saying this is in terms of the VP's perception, it's one of the top projects that he's ever seen in terms of masternodes. Let's give some context around this. Here's the entire cryptocurrency market. I think I showed it to you earlier. It's around $225 billion. $225 billion, that's the entire cryptocurrency space. When you take a deep dive into masternodes only represent about 1% of the entire market. As a matter of fact, let's look it up so I don't have to guess anymore. We're going to CoinMarketCap.com. The total market cap is $228 billion. I'm not going to keep track of, basically there's your hundreds, and then now your hundreds of thousands, then there's your millions, hundreds of millions, and then now you have your billions. 228 billion. Just keep that number, 228 billion, in your head. Now we go to Masternodes Online. Look at the market cap of Masternodes Online. Looking at the market cap of Masternodes Online, there's your hundreds, there's your hundreds of thousands, there's your thousands, here's your millions, and here's your billions. We're $2.3 billion, $2.3 billion, $2.3 billion, roughly over 238 billion of the entire cryptocurrency market. Masternodes overall represent approximately 1% of the entire cryptocurrency space. 1% of the entire space. I don't think we do a great job of branding in general and marketing, and even with cryptocurrencies in general, I don't think we do a good job. But if we can create a brand, if we can let people know and make the information consumable, make the devices usable, user-friendly, I think that's what's going to grow the cryptocurrency space. You're not going to get that. That's why we're in the partnership with UCF, to help us with the attitudes, help us with the perceptions around cryptocurrency, to help us to build more user-friendly interfaces for the point-of-sale devices, for the ATM machines, and also for the wallets in general. If we can go from 1% of the market at 2 million to 10%, you're talking about a 10x of the Masternode market. If we can go from, say, 1% of the market to 30% of the market, of the entire cryptocurrency market, we have 30% of the entire cryptocurrency market, a 30x increase of where we are right now. I think because of our project, because of what we're doing, we're going to increase the market share, no doubt, because of LPC and the team that we have with Logis Coin. What we're doing right now, we're in the top 10 in terms of our volume. We're increasing in terms of our market cap every single day. You're taking roughly 9.5 million, 1.5 million, and you take that, add that together, you have roughly 11 million total in the projects, 2 projects within the top 10 in less than 3 months. I think that's a compelling case that something is happening. We have a team, something phenomenal is happening, and we're building our brand, we're increasing our exposure. With that said, understanding that we're 1% of the market when you look at masternodes in general, but then when you look at our project with approximately, and now I'm just considering both projects, over $11 million in market cap in less than 30 days. What business do you know of that's gone from in less than a 90-day period? So within a 90-day period, we have over $11 million in market cap. Tell me any business that's been able to do that in our period of time, a startup, traditional startup, or crypto startup. I think there's something special happening, guys, and I truly believe it. And with that, we got the attention of executives within Fox Business Network. So I want to do the show. They want to do multiple segments. We have to be in a position where we begin to tidy up, polish ourselves up, and do what we need to do in order to be successful in branding, telling that story of how we're building a point of sales device to help the mom and pop shops. Right now, you just do a quick Google search. I'm going to stop this and I'm going to entertain you for a quick moment. I'm going to say Walmart sues Visa. I'm going to do, that's not the article I'm looking for. There's a Forbes article. Let's do this. Kroger sues, maybe I should conjugate it properly. Fortune. There's a problem. Kroger has slapped Visa with a lawsuit over debit card fines. This is coming from Fortune, guys. 628. So it's not an old article. This is new. Kroger, the grocer titan in the space, is suing another titan. Why? Over the debit card fines coming from the swipes. Walmart has sued Visa as well. And you can click on this story. Same issue. It's the swipes. It's the point of sale devices. All of these requirements that these companies, these credit card companies are putting on to these big boys, the giants in the space, the Walmarts of the world, the Krogers of the world, saying, hey guys, I'm not going to take you kicking me across the head with these fees. I'm going to sue you. As a matter of fact, Kroger is in a position where they're saying, we're going to stop using Visa. We're going to stop taking Visa. Where there is chaos, there is also opportunity. Just like with the Great Recession, because of that chaos came the opportunity of cryptocurrency. Now we see with the credit card companies attacking the giants in the space, not only just the giants, but the mom and pop shop. If just imagine that you're a barber or you are a restaurant owner and you run a 3% margin business. If you're a 3% margin business and you're paying 2.5%, 3% in terms of credit card swipe fees. That's the difference between doubling your EBITDA within your organization and increasing profits. Now, this provides us a great opportunity to move forward. Yeah, I do need an ad blocker. Thanks for whoever told me that, because I'm going to aggressively move into that position. So looking at Walmart fighting with Visa, Kroger fighting with Visa, Kroger beginning to stop taking credit cards for Visa in particular. This provides a great opportunity for us to build out the point of sale devices and approach Kroger once it's built. December 2018, that's when the point of sale devices will be built, and we will begin doing the initial beta testing, beta pilots with some small chains. We do have some small chains in mind already that have made some verbal commitments to try to come on board and test out the devices. But it's the case, if we can lock down a Kroger, if we can lock down a Walmart with our point of sale device, where the point of sale device is actually backed by a Masternode, whereby the point of sale device is generating revenue coming from the rewards for securing the LPC blockchain. Nobody is doing that in the space. 1% of that Masternode market, 1% of the cryptocurrency market is us. There are no projects, no Masternode projects attacking this problem. This is crystal clear. This, when you have Walmart suing Visa, when you have Kroger suing Visa, those are the titans who are strong enough to fight against the credit card companies. At the same time, for the mom and pop shops, they can't fight. They're just watching the titans and hoping that Walmart and Kroger will win at the end of the day. This is what puts us in a great position to really kill this market, to take market share, to show that there's an alternative where you can have a point of sale device that's backed by an institutional asset, the Masternode, that pays, that our network pays that Masternode for securing the blockchain, and at the same time, Visa, not Visa, but Walmart, Kroger, the mom and pop shops, they generate revenue for using our point of sale device. Wonderful business model, great business model. We can kill it. So I can run my mouth all day on this, but I need to stop. Like I mentioned before, I got a problem.
Yep. Damon, you've got 2 questions right now. You've got one asking if there are any updates on KuCoin, and then after you get done with that one, I've got another one for you.
Sure. Update on KuCoin. Where we are with KuCoin, we've put in our application. We've submitted our legal opinion coming from our lawyers around whether or not LPC is a security or it's a utility. We've submitted that. We've submitted our application. They have our white paper. It takes around 2 weeks for them to even evaluate the paper, all of the evidence, the opinion, and then they will reach out for us to do an interview. Once that is done, no, we're already in a position where we're able to pay the fee. The fee is not an issue. Being able to pay the listing fee is not a concern. So being able to wait on their terms. So now we're going through that 2-week process. I've already connected with one of the evaluators on Skype where they're going to do the interview. So we're ready. We're just waiting on them to reach back out to us. So we're on somebody else's timeline.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. The second question is, with the current hyperinflation happening in Venezuela, more and more people are to Dash as a currency. Perhaps the installment of LPC ATMs would mean easy access to a currency and increase the exposure of the coin?
You're absolutely right. With Venezuela, with the hyperinflation that's happening there, yes, we are taking a concerted effort to penetrate the Latin American markets in general and Venezuela in particular. So with that said, this feeds into our update. We have already paid for a conference sponsorship in Colombia, where there's going to be a blockchain conference. We are the official sponsors of that conference, and this once represents one of our efforts to penetrate that market, let people know who we are. I don't speak Spanish or Portuguese, a little bit of como estás and like that, and hola and where's the bathroom. But other than that, I'm not proficient in those languages, even if there are members who are and just happen to be in the area. We're going to be in, I'll list the specific detail. I think it's Bucharama, Colombia. I'm maybe butchering the word, but for the most part, we're presenting at that conference. We are a official sponsor of that conference as well, and we're going to begin to list on exchanges in that market. This represents our effort to penetrate the Latin American markets, to help these countries where there's hyperinflation, really to help the people in those countries who are subject to the local currencies that are collapsing and going through those issues. That's not only within Venezuela, but when you look also within Turkey. The Turkish lira has dropped 40% over the past few weeks. We're really looking at the beginning of the year. It's on a spiral dive, and some people are beginning to think that because Turkey is the 17th largest economy in the world, it's going to cause a ripple effect throughout the Western world and the world in general. Because of that, it's the case you have two options in terms of a hedge. In terms of the US dollar, the physical hedge is gold. People like gold. That's why you saw when the interest rate hike just went up, gold shot up. You saw Bitcoin go up. You will see cryptocurrencies in terms of its market cap go up as a consequence of what's happening here in the US with interest rates. What's happening with Turkey in terms of its devaluation of hyperinflation happening with its currency, it's the case that that ripple effect may move to other countries. So we're looking to list on Turkey exchanges. As a matter of fact, I had an exchange today with one of the top cryptocurrency exchanges within Turkey. They trade, in some markets you see where some exchanges, you see the largest volume happening with Bitcoin. With that exchange, it's not the case. The largest volume is happening with the Turkish lira. They're trading directly against fiat. So that represents the crisis that's happening within this country. And I think as more and more countries begin to experience this hyperinflation, when you talk about the Venezuela, when you begin to talk about the Zimbabwe's, and in some cases, evidence is beginning to suggest that it's happening in South Africa too. I take all this into perspective to understand what we're doing strategically to position ourselves to not necessarily to dominate, but at the same time, help the people within the respective countries to secure their economic sovereignty, because that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. How can we begin to position ourselves to help people, the mom and pop shops with the point of sale devices that are working day in and day out to feed their families and what they're paying on credit card swipes, to help individuals in Venezuela that are who are going through the financial crisis because of the hyperinflation, to help people within Turkey, what's happening with their currency as well. And even right now, you begin to look at the United States in terms of its interest rates. We're still going through that. We're still going through the economic recovery from 2008. Guys, there's a reason why we hadn't gone through a recession. We hadn't had a recession since the Great Recession in 2008. There is a reason for that. Why? Because the Federal Reserve and the banks are not prepared. The governments, they're not prepared. Right now, SEC is rushing to get these on, not necessarily rushing at breakneck pace, but they're trying to get these ETFs passed to secure the pensions, to secure what's happening with the funds of the people. Because if we go through another collapse, we're not ready. The currency is not strong enough to withstand another crisis like we did. So they're beginning to put the infrastructure in place to support digital assets. This is the move. This is still a continuation of the Great Recession. And the cryptocurrencies in general, and like Bitcoin in particular, we are strategically positioned to take advantage of that. So let me pause, man. I can go all day. But right now we're at an hour and 10 minutes. Let me pause. I'm going to say one last thing. We'll be at UCF on the kickoff, even though that would be great news. It's great news by itself. The kickoff meeting is actually going to happen this Friday. We're going to jump on the plane. Some investors are actually coming over. Patrick will be over, myself, and we're going to be talk with some of the engineering students, some of the human factors students, to begin to get them involved in the LPC project. That's the kickoff. Let me pause and take some questions, because I can do this all day, guys. This is where I excel. Let me do this quick clicking questions. Do you think of partnering with exponents and using LPC with their point of sale devices? That's something that we'd have to explore. Right now, we want to be vertically integrated. We want to have everything. We want to be able to distribute. We want to be able to manufacture. We want to be able to update all of our software, not necessarily depend on our clients or depend on partners, because you have to pay partners. We have to pay UCF and the students and the professors who are going to be involved. We have to pay any of the marketing folks who come on and help us as well. But if we're vertically integrated and we have our own marketing team, we have our own logistics supply company, it perhaps is the case we may launch another instance where we are taking advantage of an opportunity whereby we're not having to pay a partner. More that we're able to keep vertically integrated, the more successful the project will be, because it's all within one shop. And that's what I'd like to be able to create, and have these multiple entities begin to run. And Logis is one of the first instances of that. And I hope that you all can begin to understand it and not necessarily say, oh, it's just a scam. It's just spinning our project. And we're getting that. There's some of the top Masternode coins. They're throwing some dirt at us already, because of the success that we're having. And you're going to see it all across the web. But in terms of what we've done, in terms of the evidence that we have in place, in terms of the use cases, hands down, as compared to some of the top Masternodes coin, you get your best use case, we'll get our best use case, and let's compare, see who's making progress. So we're going to get that. But my position is, if we can have it vertically integrated, where we own all the research, the development, the commercialization, the sales, the marketing, the distribution, the logistics, I am happy. But at some point, we'd have to make some decisions. Some things you have to pay in order to either you build it or you buy it. That's the philosophy I learned when I was at IBM. One of the first things in moving into the emerging markets, I was responsible for pushing, hiring hardware, software engineers all around the world, but in particular within the Asian markets. They say, you're going to do one of two things, guys. You're going to build your talent, or you're going to buy your talent. Building your talent, you bring them in, you select them, you train them, and then they have the skills in order to necessarily perform. Or you buy it where people already have the skills, but you're going to have to pay a fee. That's where we are right now in terms of evaluating the option of partnering versus building it ourselves. The cryptocurrency space is less than 10 years old. I doubt that there's a long-standing point of sale competitor in the space that totally dominates it. So right now, it's like everybody is at a relatively even start. So considering a partner who might have some point of sale devices out, how far ahead are they? Do they have the capabilities that we have, or do we have the resources to be able to immediately do what they do and not necessarily partner and pay, but yet build it internally and then actually have that as a building a market cap for investors? Because as we sell ATM machines, guess what? We're taking some of that revenue and we're purchasing more LPC. We're going to increase our market cap more and more so that we can get, once again, at the end of the day, have that price discovery, have that liquidity in place, list on more exchanges to be able to compete. But to the extent that we take away as we pay out to more partners, that prevents us from getting onto more exchanges, that prevents us from having more price discovery. But I understand your question, but it's something that we have to consider on a case-by-case basis. Okay, if there are no questions, I appreciate the call. I think it was a great call. A great webinar. Went through stats, went through macroeconomics conditions, talked about exchanges, CoinEx.com, BitXBay, talked about arbitrage conditions, taking advantage of the different prices, but we have to get those exchanges and those markets listed under our tab on CoinMarketCap. We talked about the updates. Fox Business Network wanting us to do either 6 or 12 segments. We have to understand that. We also have to be able to own the rights at the end of the day to be able to distribute out to our different channels as well. That has to be taken into consideration. At the same time, we're doing a presentation at UCF, the kickoff call, to bring those folks in. Appreciate the time, appreciate the support, and hey, let's go out and let's get this crypto. Thanks for the time, guys. Any other questions?
No, I think we're good now. Thank you, Dr. Bryant. We appreciate it.
All right, folks. Take care.